Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and we're going to kind of continue on our theme. We did a couple of videos, kind of about everything that's going on right now. Um, Most of you got an idea. There's just that kind of thing that's going around in all the preparedness related channels where there's that uneasy feeling. There's a lot of talk about some sort of something's getting ready to happen. You can kind of feel it right here. And again, when we're talking about preparedness, we prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So we hope that we're wrong. We hope that nothing happens, but we still need to prepare just in case. And so I put out a couple of videos where we kind of got things kicked off and whatnot. If you know what I'm talking about, go check them out. I highly encourage you. But the next couple of videos is going to be kind of inspired by PJ over at Viking Preparedness. Put out an amazing video. Um, and if you don't know who that is, really, really great dude. Puts out amazing content. Um, Definitely love all of his stuff. But he shared the four things that's going to take most people out if there actually is a widespread kind of long-term SHTF situation, that one that all doomsday preppers talk about. And those four things are, in no particular order, is starvation, food and water. Okay, that's one. Number two is going to be people behaving badly, as he likes to put it, or just people being threatened, of some sort of, they're doing bad things. Um, the third one is medical. That's a huge one. And then the fourth one that he put out is some sort of weather related natural disaster sort of thing. And I like to put in a fifth. I'm just going to add my own little flair to it. And I call it the wild card. And that's basically the thing that you didn't have on the list that happens anyway. Those are the ones that you really can't prepare for them. They're just kind of a freak accident sort of thing that just pops up out of the blue. Um, but we're going to talk about them anyway. So we're going to talk about one thing per so we can really take a deeper dive into all this. So the very first one that we're going to talk about is starvation. So that's food and water related. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this is not putting you down. This is not criticizing. This isn't anything about trying to anybody be better or worse or anything. This is just going to be straight out uh, probably most people that watch this video do not have enough food and water. Okay. You may have a good amount of food, you may have a good amount of water, uh, but if we're talking very long term, it's probably not enough. Okay, just to be absolute frank and full and honest and transparent and everything else. Um, where I am at currently, I am sitting good. I want to be a lot better. This is not where I am at my long term. My bug out location is my long term. That is actually my retirement area. Is my bug out area. Um, where I'm at now, um, it's got its resources. It's strategically located. I've been here for quite a while. I'm very well established. I know my neighbors. I know my area. I am near water. I am near land. I am near resources. I know a very good detailed amount of where things are, what's going down, a lot of things. I'm not surprised on pretty much anything that happens pretty much in my area of operations. Okay. So it's decent for now. It could be a lot better, but that's what it is. For food, I've got three in my household. I got me, I got Mrs. Rural, and I've got Little Rural. Thank God, Little Rural's only 5. He doesn't eat that much. There is days that he eats like a horse, but for most of the days, he eats like a small. Or I would say he eats like a big boy. Okay, but we're sitting decently. You would never know. Maybe you think that I have this really big, lavish production studio, but I'm sitting in my pantry right now. So if I flipped it around, you would see all of my shelves of food and medical and other things like that. But you get to watch the wonderful fake waterfall behind me. Um, but it's not about what you can store, because yes, you can get canned food. Yes, you can get a lot of shelf stable things. You can get bags of beans and rice, and you can do different things, and you can can and jar. You can freeze dry and dehydrate, and you can do a lot of things like that. One of the things that I want to give out is, when you do any of that, you go and you buy one of those meal in a bucket sort of thing, those the long term freeze dried things. I don't want to give out names because I don't want to put anybody up or down. um, when you pop that open, the timer starts. Okay, those have the expiration date of 25 years or longer if the bucket's sealed. When you open that bucket, you click the timer on. Okay, the shelf life starts going down. um, Same with most of your stuff. The second that you start opening those bags of beans and rice and everything, um, the timer starts on them. Yeah, they're shelf stable for 5 years or whatever, but the second you open that up and you start putting oxygen to it, uh, they start going bad. Okay, and you can do things to extend the life and things like that. uh, but you need residual food. You need to be able to uh, gather food, whether that's going out and knowing in your area different places that wildly grow, so nature is growing it for you. You need to grow your own food. You, if it's possible, have some sort of residual growth as well. Plant some fruit trees, plant some berry bushes, plant a grapevine, plant something along those lines. If you can, I know there's people that live in downtown third story and you can't plant a fruit tree. And I get it. Okay. It's really hard to grow an apple tree in the third story. I get it. Okay. You got to do what you can. You got to make do with what you got. I know finances is tight for a lot of people, especially with Christmas time and things like that at the end of the year. Um, you got to make do. Okay. That's where you're at right now. You're not going to change it probably tomorrow, and so you got to make do with what you can. And what you can do is figure out something you can grow in your windowsill. You know, if you live in the outskirts, a suburby area, you don't have a very big yard, you don't have to do where you dig up the whole front yard, backyard, side yard, and everything and start growing. uh, Growing something is better than growing absolutely nothing. It gives you an extra day, an extra week, an extra, month. It gives you time. Okay. And that's one of the big things. If you can do something to extend the time, then it buys you more to where you can try and fill those gaps with other things. If you have enough to where you can grow a month's worth of food, okay, when you go through some of your stuff, then you go in and you can that month. Say that you live in mid to northern US or something like that. You have a winter time that you're not going to grow anything in the winter season. And so your grow season is over. If you can for a month, and let's say that you have a 3-4 month winter, that's 1 month that you are okay on food. And if you can subsidize that with gathering some other food, with going out and finding something that nature provides, if you can hunt, if you can fish, if you can trap, if you can do anything along those lines, it is something that will help. Okay. If you can get a little bit of meat, that means that the stuff that you canned, you can put it on the back shelf and let it sit for a little longer while you eat what you just caught. You can eat, maybe you caught something big that you're not going to consume in one single day. Eat what you can, preserve the rest. Eat on that thing for a couple of days or a week if you can. It's all about buying time, because if you have no food, you have no time. Okay. If you are starving today, you're not going to take a seed and survive long enough to eat its fruit. It's just, it doesn't work that way. So, to be able to store as much as you can, have the knowledge to preserve whatever you can grow or get is a very good thing, or hunt or whatever. The ability to preserve it to where what you get will last longer. It'll get you through those months that you can't. Probably most of us do not want to be out in negative temperatures while the wind's blowing, a foot of snow, and we're trying to hunt something. Okay, it's not fun, and a lot of times you're not going to get anything anyway. But try and go through your food and really count your calories. Go through your stuff and try and be as honest as you possibly can. How long, if you are eating, the bare minimum? And I'm not talking like you're like, well, if I just eat 200 calories a day, I can last. No, I'm talking you need to be as close to what you normally eat now, because you're going to need that energy. What you eat now is an average for you to maintain what you are. Um, I know that people are going to say ration and things like that. And yes, you will ration. I get it. But you're going to be stressed. You're not going to be in peak physical condition. You're going to be exerting a lot of force. You're going to be burning through a lot of calories and things like that. So you're going to need your calorie count up. I know that there's plenty of people that went through and said a very, very good one. I want to say it was Magic Prepper put out an amazing video about it's not the canned food. People go out and they rush out and they buy the canned food and they think all canned food's the same. But he did a really, really good breakdown on, if you spend 50 cents on this can and 50 cents on this can only has 300 calories. This can has, 1,700 calories. Oh, I want this can. If I'm going to pay 50 cents, I want the most calories that I possibly can for my money. And I get it. Everybody's taste is a little different. I try and get as much things that has meat in it as possible. Why is because it's already canned. There's a lot of people that when they start out canning, they're very, very timid, if not downright scared of canning meat. And so, obviously it can be canned because it comes in a can. Think of spam and things like that. But you can get spam, you can get canned ham, you can get like spaghetti sauce that has meat in it. Spaghettio and meatballs is probably one of my absolute favorite things because it provides so much different things in one single can that you don't necessarily have to warm it up. It may not taste the greatest, just popping the can and eating it, uh, but it's not going to make you sick. You can warm it up. You can pop the top and use the can and get it warm, stick it close to a fire or a heat source or whatever. There's a bunch of different things that you can do. That's probably one of the best ones. Now, there's other different things of different, uh, you know, beef stew or chicken and whatever. There's all sorts of different things out there. I get it. Um, and it's going to be all in your taste and your budget and different things like that. But just be mindful when it comes to food. Try and figure out what it is now. If you have not gone to your area and start looking around and seeing what is out there, what is nature already providing? If I had to go hunting, where would I go right now? If I needed to lay out some traps, which trapping is way better than hunting, if you can do a tiny bit of bait and set that trap in the right strategic location, that thing works for you while you're doing other things. Set traps, invest in traps, watch different videos, do different things, and figure out how to build traps, how to make traps, snaring, things like that. Those right there, if you learn that skill, those work for you while you're doing your other things that need to be done. Instead of sitting out all day and coming home empty handed, I would rather set 20 traps and get a whole bunch of stuff done and come over and find a whole bunch of empty traps, because at the end of the day, I got all that other stuff done. If I'm going to come home empty handed, I'd rather have a day's worth of labor to show for it than nothing done and no food. Okay. So I implore you, check out traps, check out snaring, things like that. Go out and actually set some. You don't have to leave them up and catch anything, but set them up. Are you proficient? Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to set them up? Do you know how to set them up in different ways. Just because you know how to do a stainless steel snare wire, do you know how to do the same thing with paracord? Do you know how to cover your scent, where a good trail is, how to funnel things and things like that? But there's also the thing of water, okay? You can store water. It's probably one of the hardest preps in order to do is store water. It's bulky, it's heavy. If you store it inside your house, you run the risk of a leak. FYI, ask me how I know. I bought one of, and I don't know if I can do it because it's absolutely full. I have several of these, um, and they are full. And one of the seams decided to just go, and there was some squishy carpet, and that's how I found out that the seam will let go. Uh, and so, yes, it's one of them things that you need to rotate and check on often. But you run that risk, and it's difficult. I get it. There's a lot of people out there that they'll scream out solutions to you. Well, buy 55-gallon, buy an IBC tote, and things like that. Yeah, those are great ideas, and I'm not disputing them by any means. I have rain barrels and I have other forms and different other things, but not everybody can do that, So you have to do what you can. If you live in an apartment, see if you can buy one of the water bobs, one of the things that you put in the bathtub, turn it on, and it goes through, and it's just basically a big old water bubble that you fill up. Um, there's all sorts of different things out there. Water filtration, anything from mini Sawyer to Life Straw and Berkeys and all sorts of other things. Do your research, figure out which one's going to work best for you. Um, I know, I mean, on my thing, everybody would always buy a Life Straw, buy a Life Straw. Well, I mean, one of the things for me, a little rural came around, and I went, wait a second, I have nothing but like life straws and all that, and the mini Sawyers and all those. I had 20 of them laying around the house and in different bags and things like that. But um, he was 3 months old. He's not going to drink out of a straw. How do I filter water if something was bad, going to happen? So I had to solve that problem. What am I going to do? How am I going to collect water? How am I going to filter it? How am I going to, and I had to go through and do all that. And then I had to go through, is that's what comes out of there safe for an infant versus an adult? The adult digestive system is built differently than an infant. So do I need to filter it more? Do I need to add more? If I'm going to add bleach to it, is it so much bleach for an adult for a child? There's all sorts of different things, and that kind of leads me into it. Uh, do you have it written down on how many drops of bleach or how much powdered bleach goes into sterilized water? Do you know the different methods? Can you go through and do desalinization? Can you use solar? Do you even know where to collect it? Do you know where there's a stream, or where the swimming pools are in your area? Do you know anything to where you can go get it? Do you have something just in case? Maybe you live in an area that's got an HOA and you can't put out rain catchment. Do you have rain catchment ready for when all of that breaks down? The balloon goes up, HOA doesn't exist no more. Forget their rules. Catch the rain. Do you have a rain barrel for when that happens? Maybe you can't put it to use right now, but do you have it on standby? Things like that. If not, what do you have? Do you have the plastic totes that you have Christmas items in? Can you dump that out and put that under your gutter and catch rain? Um, there's a lot of things to think about. Water is going to almost become more important than food. Now, yes, you need both absolutely to survive. You need calories, you need water. But there's a lot of the food that you're going to get that you need water in the first place. You get anything freeze dried, you're going to need water. A lot of the dehydrated stuff, yeah, I get it. You just throw beef jerky in your mouth and reconstitutes in your mouth and whatnot. For how long? You can only do that for so long. It'd be nice to be able to have a little bit of water to put that in and soften it up. Um, You're going to need water more for just drinking, though. Hygiene is going to be massive. We're very clean people. At least I'm going to guess most of you are clean, just like myself. To be able to shower every single day, if you start dialing that back to where you shower once a week, your body's not used to that. To be able to have water to brush your teeth, to wash your face, to use the restroom, to clean your clothes, to do any sort of cleaning whatsoever. Water is going to become a very, very highly sought after commodity. You're going to talk about things that they call liquid gold. It's going to probably be water. Why? Because it's bulky, it's heavy, it's hard to put a bunch of it in one spot. It's really hard to transport unless you have, a well or something that is on your property. It's one of those that there's a lot of people that's going to be seeking it. You have to. You can go a lot longer without food than you can water. And I know they have that saying that the fall of civilization is 9 meals away, which comes out to be about 3 days. But here's the thing: how long can you live without food versus how long can you live without water? Because most of the things that I have read and learned and listened to is 3 days without water. Well, guess what happens in 3 days? Um, yeah, so you're going to have a bunch of thirsty people that are going to be trying anything to get something to drink. And, desperate people do very dumb, desperate things. And that's something to watch out for. Um, it's one of those things that for the most part, um, food is easier to get. Now, granted, I know, depending on where you live and all sorts of situations and stuff like that, I'm speaking on my behalf of where I live and my region and my area and things like that. Um, I'm not worried as much on food as I am on water because uh, I can only store so much on where I'm at. Yes, I can catch rain and different things. For me, yes, if I grow food, I'm still going to want to have water for irrigation and to be able to grow food and things like that. If you can trap animals, guess what? A trapped animal is still alive. If you snare a foot or something like that, I can cage it or do something with that animal, give it little bits of food and water and keep it alive. And guess what? I don't have to refrigerate or do nothing because you don't have to do that with a live thing, right? So that's another reason why I like to snare and trap and things like that. But going back to the water, water is life. Go through and look, honestly, out of everything that you have that you can drink, and you're going to have to really dial it in. So not just what you have in bottles and gallons and things like that, but count every soda, every wine bottle, liquor bottle, juice, little kid squeeze bottle, thing, milk, all that stuff, and then start going through and start looking at, maybe you have canned peaches, that's in a syrup. It's a liquid. It's not going to be good. It's probably not going to be all that healthy for you. But it'll work for a little bit of having some sort of liquid in your body. You're definitely not going to want to do that for very, very long, a day if that. Uh, a lot of the things that you're going to have to kind of look at and get creative. If it was absolutely down to it, what do I have around me that I could use to drink, and how long would I last if I was drinking a bare minimum of whatever it is, X amount of cups a day? And that would only be for drinking. We're not talking about bathing or doing any other hygiene or cleaning things or anything along those lines. And we'll get into all that probably in some other videos, but if you're wearing dirty clothes and you're not bathing, uh, you're inviting all sorts of really bad, nasty stuff. Um, and it again, when he was talking about the four, and I'm going to throw in five, things that was probably going to take out most of the population, food and water is going to be a very, very high thing because there is people out there that do not believe that anything bad can happen, or if it does, it's not for very long. And if it is for very long, that there's people that'll come to their rescue and they'll be just fine. That's what they believe. There's a system in place, and that stuff just doesn't happen. Most of us that's here knows that's a whole bunch of BS, and that's why we're self-sufficient. And that's why we take steps in order to preserve life for not only ourselves but our friends, our family, our loved ones, those that we care about. And we're taking steps to ensure the survival of those people. So that's why I wanted to cover this one. I'm sorry this one's kind of a little long, but food and water is extremely, extremely important. Don't sleep on this. Go through, take an assessment, look deeply into it. How much do you have on hand? How much can you store up? How much, if you was to expand, how much could you expand to? Where is your residual? Where could you go get more food, more water? If something happened to the area, where's the next place? You need to have multiple places and multiple sources to get food and water. Because without it, you're not going to last very long. Okay. And it's ugly. It's sad. I apologize. That's why this is probably going to go under the ugly truth about SHTF, is because it's serious stuff, folks. And I apologize. I don't mean for it to be grim and bad and things like that. That's why I wanted to get this out there. It's why I want to share this, so that way it'll get you thinking. I want you to kind of just take a reality check for a moment. Look around, be honest with yourself, and see, if I was to expand my food and water, where could I put it? How much could I afford? And go from there. That's the best that I can do at the moment. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comment section. Send me an email. I will do my best to get back to as many people as possible, if not everybody. So, but I'm going to end it there. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope that this brought you some sort of value and substance. But I hope you guys had an amazing day. I hope you have a blessed day. Stay tuned, because there's more information to come. And with that, remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.